Konnichiwa. Has anyone ever asked you a question starting with the words, how often do you blah blah blah? Would you like to know the differences between words like always, usually, never, and sometimes? These are called adverbs of frequency in English. Welcome to Jen's Jyugyou. My name is Jen, and today we're going to study adverbs of frequency. An adverb gives more information about a verb. A verb is an action word. So, for example, la 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 la, I sing. La 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 la, I sing loudly. Loudly is an adverb, and it is helping to give more information about how I am singing. With adverbs of frequency, they give more information about how often you do something. What is your habit or routine amount of time that you do a certain action for? For example, I love tea. I drink tea all the time. If I want to use an adverb of frequency to describe how often I drink tea, I would say I always drink tea. Okay? I drink tea all the time, so I always drink tea. Let's take a look at some example sentences. My husband snores every night. He always snores loudly. So, I often wake up during the night. Therefore, I am usually sleepy. In these sentences, you could hear 3 adverbs of frequency. Always, often, and usually. Okay? These are 3 examples of adverbs of frequency to describe how often a certain action is happening. I want you to take a look at where in the sentences you see these adverbs of frequency. Okay? You might notice that the adverbs of frequency will come in one of 2 places. They will come before the verb, before the main verb, or if you are using the be verb, am, are, is, was, were, then the adverb of frequency has to come after the be verb. Now that you understand what an adverb of frequency is and where an adverb of frequency should go in a sentence, let's examine 8 examples of the most commonly used adverbs of frequency. Remember, these adverbs are helping you to answer the question of how often, how frequently something happens. If you do something all the time, 100% of the time, you should use the adverb always. Always. You could hear it used a couple times in the introduction. I always drink tea. My husband always snores loudly. I am always happy when I eat chocolate. I always brush my teeth before I go to bed. So always is used to describe something that happens 100% of the time. All the time. The next adverb of frequency, a step down from always, is usually. Usually describes something that happens maybe around 85% of the time. I usually eat dessert. Pie. I usually sing in the shower. La 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 la. The next adverb of frequency that we should look at is often. Often describes an event or routine that happens around 70-75% of the time. I often watch live theater. I am often cold. The next adverb of frequency is frequently. frequently happens maybe around 65-60% of the time. I frequently play video games. I love to eat. I am frequently hungry. The next adverb of frequency is used to describe something that maybe happens 50% of the time. So it's in between always happening 100% and never happening 0%. Right in the middle, we have the adverb sometimes. Sometimes. Sometimes I study Japanese, but sometimes I am lazy and I don't study. I sometimes cook dinner. Only sometimes, because my husband is better at cooking than me. The next adverb of frequency is occasionally. Occasionally. Okay? If you do something occasionally, maybe you only do it about 30% of the time, you're not doing it very often at all. I usually take the bus or subway or streetcar or walk. But occasionally, I take the train. Okay? So I don't take the train very often, but occasionally, I will take a train. I occasionally talk on the phone. Next, I want to talk about two adverbs of frequency which are used in the exact same way. If you do something around, 10%, 5% of the time, there are two adverbs of frequency which are often used. One of them is hardly ever, and the second one is rarely. Rarely. So rarely and hardly ever means that you are almost never doing this action. I hate exercising. I hate to exercise. So I don't do it very often. I hardly ever exercise. I hardly ever exercise, or you could say I rarely exercise. I am hardly ever late. I'm hardly ever late, or I am rarely late. Finally, if you do something 0% of the time, you don't do it at all, then you can use the adverb of frequency never. Never. The smell of smoke is disgusting and smoking can cause cancer. So I never smoke. I never smoke. 0 times do I smoke. I never drive a car. So a quick review of the adverbs of frequency from today's lesson in the order of 100%, you always do it all the time, to 0%, you don't do it at all, you never do it. The adverbs of frequency are always, usually, often, frequently, sometimes, occasionally, rarely or hardly ever, and finally, never. Those are the adverbs of frequency. Remember that in a sentence, they should go before the verb or after the be verb. Hopefully, you will be able to use these adverbs of frequency in your conversations with other people so that you can learn more about people and their routines in English. And now it's time for Question of the Day. Today's question is, how often do you study English? How often do you study English? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Mina, thank you. Ganbatte ne. Jane. I always drink tea. And I'm always happy when people improve their English. So make sure you subscribe so you can continue improving your English with new Jen's Jyugyou videos. I always upload new videos on Mondays and Fridays. Hope to see you in the next lesson.